everyone, it's Nicole. It's the end of the month, so it's time to do my October book haul. I'm just gonna jump right in and get started. First one I got is the Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare and Joshua Lewis. A month or so ago, I challenged myself to reread/finish reading the Mortal Instruments and Infernal Devices series because Lady Midnight was coming out. I kind of wanted to have the story and all the characters fresh in my brain when I read the new book because it had been such a long time since I read those first few books, and it was a great idea. So picking up the Shadowhunters Codex wrapped that up very nicely. Next one I got is Solving the Mystery of the Lost Colony Roanoke by Lee Miller. If you haven't started watching the new American Horror Story season yet, spoiler alert, this season is called My Roanoke Nightmare. I first heard the term Roanoke several years back watching Supernatural, so I did a little research on it because I was very intrigued by it. I never heard of it, so I wanted to learn what I could about it. And I did a little Wikipedia search and learned the basics of it. But since American Horror Story came out, I wanted to learn a little bit more since the whole season is wrapped around it. So I did a Google search about some books that I found that were very interesting. This book was one of them. And I was just looking around Barnes & Noble, and right there in the bargain bin, there it sat. It's too good to be true since it was 75% off of $8. Couldn't pass that up. Next book I got was Eve by W.M. Paul Young. I picked up this book because I read another book by this author called The Shack. If you've never heard of The Shack, I urge you to go out and buy it and read it. It's so good. It makes you question things and think of things in different ways. And it's kind of one of those books that just lingers in your mind days after you read it. So when I saw this book on the bargain bin in Barnes & Noble, just couldn't pass it up. Next book I got is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This was a book club book, and as you can see, when I read book club books, I have to write little post-it notes so I know what to talk about during the meetings. Without spoiling it too much, Red Rising is a sci-fi dystopian novel that takes place in the future on Mars. It's very intriguing. Next book I got is In the Flesh by Sylvia Day. Sylvia Day is one of my go-to romance authors for when I'm in a reading slump. For me, romance is just one of those genres that you can pick up a book, get through it fairly quickly, and kind of get back on track to reading. Next book I got is 2 by 2 by Nicholas Sparks. For me, Nicholas Sparks is one of those authors that if he's coming out with a new book, I'm buying it. I don't even really have to know what it's about. If it has his name on it, it's coming home with me. The little that I do know about this book is it's probably gonna make me cry, and the two main protagonists are a father and a daughter. Next two I got here are comics, The Mighty Avengers and The Green Arrow. I've recently been expanding my comic book collection, so picking these two up at the used bookstore for $1 seemed the best way to go. Next one I got is a Barnes & Noble leatherbound classic edition of Beauty and the Beast and Other Fairy Tales. Next one I got is Penny Dreadfuls, Sensational Tales of Terror. If you don't know what the term Penny Dreadful means, they are horror stories. Back when horror stories like Dracula, Frankenstein, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde were first published, they were sold on the corner newspaper stands for a penny. So since they cost a penny and they were horror stories, they came up with the term Penny Dreadfuls. Can I just say how much I love these Barnes & Noble leatherbound classics? They are so beautiful with their shiny pages. And when you open them up, all the inside is beautiful. I mean, come on. The next one I got, I don't have an actual physical book for because I got it on audio. It's called Off to Be the Wizard by Scott Meyer. I recently did a review for that book, and that link is in the description. So that's a wrap up. That's all the books I got in October. If you've read these books, comment below and let me know all about it. If you're a fellow booktuber, leave the link for your October book haul in the comments. I would love to watch it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can follow me on Goodreads, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, avid readers.